9 years after waking from a slumber and emerging as a force to be reckoned with, McLaren Automotive's story of outrageous performance is penned in the tire tracks of supercars like the 600LT, the 720S, the P1. But it's a new dawn, it's a new day, and maintaining the turbocharged growth that's defined its first decade means eventually moving beyond two-seat track stars. This is its SUV moment. Or it would be, except. I'll give you as straight an answer as it gets. There is no SUV. We don't have a tool set. It's not in our capability set. Thing is, it would still have to pass the smile test, whether a driver would get out grinning like they would in, say, a 600LT, GT Global Product Manager Tom Taylor said. If we can't make the world's best SUV, why the hell would we? Fair and definitive. But as McLaren looked around, it decided that maybe it could make the world's best Grand Tourer, a luxurious scud that prioritizes high-speed comfort. So this is that effort, the 2020 McLaren GT, fitting for a company that wasn't around in the golden era of Grand Touring in post-war Europe. Think long, lithe coupes like the Jaguar E-Type or the Ferrari 250 Europa GT. McLaren's not hewing to those classic standards here. It's following the only course it knows, mid-engined, featherweight, and dynamic. And don't forget those dihedral doors. The 2020 McLaren GT, by the numbers. Base price, $210,000. Powertrain, 4.0-liter twin-turbo V8 612 horsepower, 465 pound-feet of torque, 7-speed dual-clutch transmission, rear-wheel drive. 0 to 60 miles per hour, 3.1 seconds. Top speed, 203 miles per hour. Cargo capacity, 20.1 cubic feet, 5.3 in front trunk, 14.8 in rear cargo hold. Curb weight, 3,384 pounds. EPA fuel economy, 15 miles per gallon city, 22 miles per gallon highway, 18 miles per gallon combined. Quick take: the McLaren GT is a Grand Tourer for those who give a damn about driving, though its performance-first ethos is a risky bet for a space that prizes luxury above all. To hear McLaren's chief engineer tell it, the development team drove every other GT under the sun and came away thinking they all went a bit soft in the quest to coddle. When you line everyone else up, like the Aston Martin DB11, the Ferrari Portofino, the Bentley Continental GT, the Mercedes SL, they all do some stuff really well, but they're all compromised in some way, Adam Thompson said from the passenger seat as we drove the McLaren GT around the south of France last week. I'm not going to pretend like we drove any of those, got out, and said yeah, that's the handling we're looking for. We're just not even in the same ballpark here. Not even in the same ballpark. That's a strong statement, and one that's mostly true. In sum, the McLaren GT is still about performance first and luxury second, far more a sports car that's joyously quiet on the highway and happens to have room for 2 pair of skis. It's the lightest Grand Tourer in the class, and the only one you'll find with a carbon fiber passenger tub and a mid-engine setup. The line we heard over and over at the launch was that the GT is designed to be comfortable over thousands of miles of highway driving and King blast on the last few miles of B roads between you and your final destination. There are a few areas where the vision doesn't feel entirely cohesive, but as promised, it's never not enthralling to drive. Something new, something borrowed. Some key twists on the familiar McLaren formula were introduced. The mid-engine powertrain is a distinct departure from the traditional long-hood, grandiose presence of classic GT, so McLaren lengthened the car with expansive front and rear overhangs to give it the necessary presence and make it the longest McLaren short of the Speedtail. It's also got a noticeably higher ride than you'd expect from its svelte profile, but that's for the sake of everyday usability. Approach angle, 13 degrees, and ground clearance, 5.1 inches. With the front axle lift are on par with a Mercedes-Benz C-Class sedan. Smooth and slightly uninspired, the front end does away with gaping vents and other trypophobia-inducing openings. It's a Saint Laurent jacket, impressive more for the label than the straightforward design. The rest of the car coalesces into a quiet riot of a rear end, elegant and sharp with gaping side intakes to hint at the beast within. Every McLaren is based around a carbon fiber passenger cocoon dubbed the monocell. That's fine when you're building a cabin with 2 seats and little else, but the McLaren GT has an open, airy interior that runs unobstructed from the windshield to the very back of the cargo compartment. To provide that without sacrificing rigidity, the car's entire upper structure from the seatbacks rearward is a second composite tub that's bonded to the passenger monocell, like an Easter egg, Thompson said. He's extremely pumped about it. It's amazing. One of my proudest technical achievements on the car. It's pretty awesome. Tucking the 4.0-liter twin-turbo V8 under the luggage compartment presented another challenge: how to keep the former from cooking the latter. The solution is a fast-moving blanket of air channeled from the side intakes aft of the doors through an inch-high gap between the top exhaust and the layers of insulating foam and aluminum beneath the cabin. Check out the video below to learn more.